Okay, good morning students. Today we will discuss about principle of entropy increase. First of all, entropy means degree of molecular disorderness. When we are performing any process, natural process, some irreversibilities are coming to the picture. Due to that irreversibilities, molecular disorderness will increase. So, entropy increase is the sign execution of the direction of the process execution. While we are discussing second law of thermodynamics itself, we mentioned it will give the solution of directional feasibility, because first law not mentioned in which direction process can execute, but second law will give the directional feasibility. How they are giving is increasing entropy principle. What we mentioned, the change in entropy for reversible process is dou q by t. Last class we discussed, Clausius introduced first inequality, later he realized it is a not inequality, it is a property for reversible process. For irreversible process, it is change in entropy is greater than the dou q by t. How much is greater than? Based on the process S generation. So entropy is a point function or property when it is a reversible process. Coming to the irreversible process, it is greater than dou q by t. How much greater than means some entropy is generated. That entropy generation basically depend upon the process. If I moved isothermal process, adiabatic process, or constant pressure process, constant volume process, or polytropic process, based on the process, the entropy generation will increase. So, system total entropy, change in entropy of universe means change in entropy of system plus change in entropy of surrounding. Suppose change in entropy of system may be positive, change in entropy of surroundings may be negative, but the summation always positive. The entropy generation, if you consider the change in entropy of universe, always greater than 0 only. If in a rare case it is equal to 0, that is the equal to 0 when it will come, system also reversible and surroundings also reversible. If both heat interactions are system and surroundings are reversible, then only the change in entropy of total universe is 0. In other case, always greater than 0. You can solve one problem. So entropy generation greater than 0, irreversible process, equal to 0, reversible process, less than 0, impossible process. We will solve one problem, then we will get the clear idea. A heat source at 800 Kelvin loses 2000 kilojoules of heat to the sink at 500 Kelvin, and B, second condition, 750 Kelvin. So source temperature is 800 fixed, but sink temperature initially 500 Kelvin. Second condition is 750 Kelvin. Heat is same. Then determine the S generation or total entropy of the universe, system plus surrounding. System, you can see source Q by T, heat transfer is 2000, but heat loss you can consider negative, minus 2000 by 800, then minus 2.5 kilojoules per Kelvin. Next sink 2000, it is a gain, so it is a positive, divided by sink temperature 500 Kelvin 4.0. The system plus surrounding, source is negative, sink is positive, but combination always positive. That is the entropy increasing principle. While process is executing, always entropy generation will take place. Next, the second condition, source is same, then entropy, change in entropy of source minus 2.5, but sink temperature is changed 750 instead of 500, then it's changed 2.7. The S generation is 0.2. So delta T, if I am reducing temperature difference in heat transfer, I am reducing this, I can reduce the entropy generation. If I am reducing entropy generation means molecular disorderness, I am reducing. Availability of the energy, I am increasing. Is one of the output. From this calculation we can conclude. That's why at present in worldwide also for water heating, for home means for bathing or kitchen utensil cleaning purpose, whatever the water heating we are doing, not by the um, biomass, not by the electrical heaters, by solar energy. Because solar energy maximum source temperature 80 to 90, our requirement 50 to 60, so it's more than sufficient. Temperature difference, biomass or electrical heaters, source temperature is 400 to 500, sink temperature is same 5 to 60 degrees only, the utilization temperature. So by substituting this biomass electrical heater based water heaters by the solar, we can increase the available energy. So one of the application worldwide we are using solar water heaters for kitchen and household utilities purpose. Next, heat transfer to a finite temperature difference always leads to reversibility. Now one sample calculation also I mentioned, but we can give the derivation. So source T1, source having T1 temperature, sink having T2 temperature. Heat is transferring, Q of heat is transferring from block A to the block B. T1, when it will transfer, if T1 is greater than T2. So dou Q by T1 is the change in entropy. It is a loss. It lost by the A is gained by B. So change in entropy of A is minus dou Q by T1. Change in entropy of B is positive because it is gaining dou Q by T2. The total change is minus dou Q by T1 plus dou Q by T2. Dou Q T1 minus T2 by T1 and T2. If it is insulated, fully insulated, we are assuming, then change in entropy of surroundings is 0. The universe is equal to Q into T1 minus T2 by T1 into T2. You see, T1 always greater than T2. No doubt at all. So, always change in entropy is the positive. It is greater than 0. So, by calculation we proved, and by derivation also, heat transfer through final temperature difference always leads to entropy. But we can reduce the temperature difference, you are reducing the entropy generation, we can reduce. The second derivation, mixing of two fluids also always leads to reverse. We are mixing commonly, having some T1 temperature, some m mass of fluid mixed with some more m mass of the fluid having some temperature. Suppose this is the vessel, fully insulated vessel, you can assume, having m1 mass and T1 temperature and specific heat C1, and m2 mass T2 temperature and having specific T2. Then if I mixed to the intermediate temperature Tf, then the energy balance we can write m1 C1 T1 minus Tf equal to m2 C2 Tf minus T2. Tf equal to m1 C1 T1 plus m2 C2 T2 by m1 C1 plus m2 C2. Then entropy change of gas, first gas m1 C1 ln of Tf by T1, and second gas is moving T2 to Tf m2 C2 ln Tf by T2. Then entropy change of system, gas A plus gas B, then m1 C1 ln Tf by T1 m2 C2 ln Tf by T2. Then if m1 equal to m2 and C1 equal to C2, Tf equal to T1 plus T2 by T1 plus T2 by T2. Then if m1 equal to m2 and C1 equal to C2, Tf equal to T1 plus T2 by T1 plus T2. Then if m1 equal to m2 and C1 equal to C2, Tf equal to T1 plus T2 by 2, then finally the change in entropy of system is mc ln tf square by t1 and t2, tf square by t1 and t2. If insulated, I already mentioned the entire vessel is mixing vessel is insulated for simplicity of the simplification of the problem. Then surroundings entropy is 0. Then universe equal to mc ln tf by t1 into t2, mc ln t1 plus t2 by 2 divided by square root of t1 t2 whole square, or 2 mc ln t1 plus t2 by 2 divided by square root of t1 and t2. So finally this is t1 plus t2 by 2 is the arithmetic mean, square root of t1 and t2 is the geometric. You can see arithmetic mean always higher than the geometric mean. So it leads entropy generation by mixing always positive value. There is no negative value. If mixing is taking place with the different temperatures of the fluids we are mixing means it leads to irreversibility. So why? Because arithmetic mean always greater than the geometry. So this is the entropy increasing whatever the process due to friction, mixing, finite temperature difference. So any process leads to increasing in entropy principle. It may be source may be positive, sink may be negative, but combination of source plus sink, system plus surrounding, always positive. In that positive direction only the process can execute. This is the entropy increasing principle. Okay, next class we will discuss remaining topic. Thank you. Thank you.